How is everybody feeling? Good? Our special thanks to the musicians for bringing joy to what we are doing right now. We were really great. We all sounded wonderful from outside, even better once we got inside. So thank you for doing that. For everyone who is here, and especially those who are working on the campaign, those who are volunteering on the campaign, those like Maggie who have knocked on hundreds of doors already. I just want to say thank you, not only for what you're doing for this campaign and improving our prospects to be able to win in the caucus here in Iowa, but what you're doing in order to restore our democracy, make sure that this really works and that it works for all of us and that every single one of us is included and that no one is forgotten and no one is written off. When we show up at someone's door, this very divided, highly polarized moment, at a time when so many of us are consumed by the digital devices in front of our faces, and so rarely are ever forced to have an unguarded, open, honest conversation with someone that we don't already agree with or know. The fact that you are willing to get out there with a clipboard and meet your fellow Americans and invite them into this democracy without having any idea of whether they're going to be with us in this campaign or supporting another contender, or maybe they support someone from another party, or maybe they're not going to vote, or maybe they cannot vote because of their age or their immigration status or their involvement with the criminal justice system. The fact that you see our common humanity in them and invite them in is incredibly restorative, not just to this democracy, but to who we are as a country. And any one of the things that Maggie just mentioned, from immigration to women's reproductive rights to healthcare for everyone in this country, or ensuring that we have an economy that includes everyone so that no one has to work 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet. If we're going to squarely confront climate change before it is too late and we pass on to our kids a planet that we would not be able to recognize from today, we cannot meet those challenges by half measures or by half steps or by only half the country. It's going to have to take every single one of us. And I believe not only is that the best way to win this primary, not only is it perhaps the only way to defeat Donald Trump in 2020, it is fundamental to any success that we're going to have as a country when we come together again in January of 2021. That's a long way from today in June in 2019, but I gotta tell you that it starts right here in this room with every single one of us believing not in a candidate or a party, but this country, and doing everything that is asked of us at this defining moment of truth. That's what it is. And that's why we're so excited to be here, because we know you're not supporting a person, you're supporting this country. And if ever we will be defined by our actions or by a single moment, it is really this one. And for those with these little people strapped to your chest, and Amy and I are the parents of 3 young ones, 12, 10, and 8. It is really their judgment that we will face and that we fear. They will look back on us, the people of 2019, many years and decades into the future, wondering what we did when we still had the chance to get it right. And that responsibility falls squarely on all of our shoulders in this democracy. You know that this week we announced a very ambitious proposal to repair this democracy. Voting rights, automatic and same-day voter registration, making sure that we have paper ballots or paper receipts at the ballot box. All of that will begin after 2021. The really important work of repairing this democracy now is on us in this campaign. So all that I ask of you is to make sure that you continue to put this country first before anything else, before any candidate or political party, or keep us from being divided by any difference that may stand between us. All I ask in addition is that you treat everyone that you encounter with the kindness and respect and the dignity that they are owed as our fellow Americans at this incredibly important moment. I would love nothing more than for us to be able to distinguish ourselves in that way, to invite our Republican mothers to join us at the table, and I say that as a son of a Republican mother. To have a kind word to say for the supporters of the other candidates who are vying to be the Democratic nominee, to make sure that we all commit ourselves to doing everything we can on this campaign at this moment. But should we come up short, we will do everything that we can for the nominee of this party, if it is not me, to make sure that they defeat Donald Trump and we bring this country together in 2021. And lastly, should we ever wonder whether the work that we do is truly effective, or whether we can be overpowered by political ads or social media, or the amount of money that somebody can raise, or a current polling position that a candidate might possess, let me just tell you this. Any campaign that we have been a part of has been predicated on the grassroots work that you represent here in this room. When we took on the incumbent and the odds to run for Congress in 2012, we won not by outspending the candidate. We were outspent 5-1, but by knocking on doors and inviting our fellow El Pasoans into their democracy. In Texas last year, with your help and Maggie's help, we knocked on doors and visited counties all across Texas, 254 of them. And though we came up a little bit short in our own race, we won more votes than any Democrat has ever won in the history of the state of Texas. We really got to be part of something very special. And lastly, I want to tell you about Mr. Lozano. I was campaigning with our road manager, Cynthia Cano, in Laredo, Texas. And we were doing an event, a town hall meeting, and someone said, "Have you talked to Mr. Lozano yet?" I said, "Well, who is Mr. Lozano?" They said, "He's everything. He owns the auto body repair shop in this neighborhood. He fixes everybody's cars, and his wife has been on the PTA for all 5 of their children's public school academic career. They know every family in the neighborhood." If you will go spend some time with Mr. Lozano, I don't know if he shows up in the rankings of the power people of Laredo, I don't know if he's on your walk list, but if you'll spend some time getting to know him, listen to him, learn from him, include him in your campaign, I guarantee you it'll pay off. And so we went to Mr. Lozano's house, spent time with him and Mrs. Lozano. Weeks later, I'm in San Antonio, Texas, walking down the street, minding my own business. This minivan is racing by, screeches to a halt, puts it in reverse, and the window rolls down. And this guy says, "Are you Beto O'Rourke?" And I said, "I am." And the guy says, "Well, we just drove in from Laredo. We're friends of Mr. Lozano's. We're going to support you in this race." These connections, human to human, that we're making right now are everything to our chances to be successful in this race. And you are everything to our ability to being able to make them. So we just wanted to come out here and say thank you tonight to all of you. And Amy and I, Amy, if you want to come up, we're looking forward to... We're looking forward to having a chance to meet you individually, one-on-one, to shake your hands, to say thank you for the work that you've already provided, to thank you in advance for the work that you will provide for this campaign and this country. Amy, would you like to close us out, and then we'll get after getting to say hi to everybody? Yeah.
I'll just close. I'm going to recognize one other person that's here. She's wandering, passing out fans. That is Brenda from Dallas. So Brenda is an amazing example of the energy and the commitment that we saw from so many people in Texas in our Senate race. Brenda drove from Dallas, took time off work to be with us in Iowa this weekend, to share about the ambassadors program that we had in Texas, encourage people to sign up to be ambassadors, to be volunteers, organizers, and then to help put on these exceptional events this weekend. And so we hope many of you in the room will follow Brenda's lead and help us get as many people involved in this campaign going forward as possible. So thank you all for being here. Looking forward to staying here.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Okay, so anyone who would like to take a picture, we certainly would love to be able to shake your hand. Cynthia has suggested that we go out into the shade for anyone who would like to do that.
Global warming.
Yes, yeah. Listen, we were here when there was snow piled up on the side of the road in March. We're now here in what you call summer, what we in Texas call a mild winter. So we're grateful to be here. Yeah, we'll be right out here in the shade. Looking forward to getting to say hi individually to everybody. Thank you all for coming out, for having us, and again, the musicians. Thank you all.